Folks, what I'm about to share with you is the kind of story that should make every American's blood boil. This is pure, unadulterated evidence of the deep state in action right under our noses during the most consequential election of our lifetime. Just the news dropped this bombshell today. And once again, John Solomon and his team are doing the job the legacy media refuses to do. The FBI, your FBI, the one you pay for with your tax dollars, had 14 different confidential informants feeding them derogatory information about Joe Biden and his family's corruption in Ukraine. 14, not one, not two, not some sketchy burned out ex spy from the UK peddling a fake dossier. 14 separate sources, some of them long term, trusted human sources going back years, back to 2015, even earlier in some cases, reporting on the Biden crime family, Burisma, Zlochevsky, the whole influence peddling racket with Hunter on the board while Daddy was still vice president. And what did the FBI do with that mountain of evidence? Did they investigate it thoroughly? Did they follow the facts where they led? No. They launched a secret counterintelligence operation codenamed Round River. And the purpose of Round River wasn't to dig into the corruption, it was to bury it, to label all as Russian disinformation, to protect Joe Biden during the 2020 campaign. They created spreadsheets, folks, listing dozens of people and organizations. Democrats like the Bidens, Hillary, Obama, John Kerry, George Soros. Those were the targets of the supposed Russian propaganda, the victims. Meanwhile, conservatives, Trump allies, journalists, members of Congress investigating the very same corruption, they got labeled as conduits for Russian disinformation. Attorney General Barr, Secretary of State Pompeo, Senators Grassley, Ron Johnson, Lindsey Graham, uh, Congressman Devin Nunes, Jim Jordan, Fox News, One News America, Rudy Giuliani, Michael Caputo, all of them marked as pipelines for Kremlin lies. Wow. They were simply trying to get to the truth about the Biden family cashing in on the big guy's name. The Foreign Influence Task Force at FBI headquarters signed off on this with a big no objection. They went into the files of at least three long term confidential human sources and altered them, literally adding products claiming their years of reporting was Russian disinformation. They gave defensive briefings to members of Congress designed to scare them off the trail. And all of this while the actual evidence, Hunter's laptop, the payments, the meetings, the influence peddling was sitting right there. This is the mirror image of Crossfire Hurricane. In 2016, they took a Democrat opposition research dossier full of unverified garbage and turned it into a full-blown surveillance operation against a U.S. presidential campaign. In 2020, they took a real informant reporting about Democrat corruption and turned it into a full-blown suppression operation to protect a presidential campaign. One standard for Republicans, another for Democrats. Always. Kash Patel, the current FBI director, has already terminated that Foreign Influence Task Force and put its activities under investigation. The director of National Intelligence memo, declassified by the White House, lays it out cold. The Round River team never corroborated the so-called Ukrainian narrative as disinformation. They just decided it was. They went looking for ways to flag every negative report on the Bidens as foreign interference. If that didn't do it, here's the part that should make you furious, my friends. They could have never pulled this off without the media being a full-blown co-conspirator. The mainstream media, the legacy press, the same people who spent 4 years screaming Russia, Russia, Russia over a hoax, took one look at the Hunter Biden laptop And the Burisma stories in 2020 and immediately chanted disinformation, disinformation. 51 intelligence officials signed a letter suggesting the laptop had all the hallmarks of Russian interference, and the media ran with it like it was gospel. Social media companies suppressed the New York Post story. Journalists mocked anyone who raised questions about the Biden family's foreign deals. They protected the narrative because the narrative protected their preferred candidate. Without the media amplifying the Russian disinformation line, without them blacking out the story, without them attacking every Republican investigator as a conspiracy theorist, the FBI's secret op would have collapsed under the weight of public scrutiny. Instead, the media provided air cover. They were the public relations arm of the operation, co conspirators in the truest sense. Folks, this wasn't incompetence. This was deliberate and criminal. This was the intelligence community and the press working hand in glove to influence an election by burying evidence of corruption against one candidate while manufacturing scandals against the other. And now the documents are coming out. The truth is marching. The question is whether the American people will demand accountability or whether the same media will help bury it now and try to bury the exposure of the cover up itself. That's the story. 14 informants, a secret op to dismiss the evidence, a media that cheered it on every step of the way. And as usual, nobody held to account. Don't you dare look away. This is where we are today in America. We'll be back, and we hope you will too.